The mystery of Tobi was one of the best kept secrets in the Naruto universe. Now, obviously, if you're a die-hard Naruto fan, you probably figured it out pretty early on, but there's still no denying that the mystery of Tobi was one of the best plot twists of the Naruto verse. But it always struck me as kind of odd that one of the smartest characters in the series could not figure it out, who was actually in the same organization and around Obito quite a bit, which was Itachi Uchiha. So today we're talking about what if Itachi found out the truth about who Tobi really was. Now, real quick before I get started on this what if, I need to address something because I've actually seen some people who genuinely think that Itachi knew the truth all along. Like, they're straight up convinced that Itachi flat out knew, and that is not the case. I'm gonna have to provide two good pieces of evidence for that. One is his conversation with Sasuke before they actually fought in mid-Shippuden. Itachi told Sasuke that Madara was the one that was in charge. Like, Madara Uchiha is still alive and well. There would be no reason, especially given the context of what we know after this, yeah, Itachi is a good guy, a double agent, and that he cared for Sasuke above all else. There would be no reason for Itachi to just give that misinformation to that degree. Like, to tell him that the most legendary, powerful Uchiha Madara was still alive and not be the truth, that it was just some random Uchiha, Kakashi's former teammate whatsoever. Like, that just would not make sense, like, at all. So there's that. And then the second bit of information, which is a lot more blatant, is Itachi's conversation with Naruto in the war arc when they fought. Naruto wants to ask Itachi the truth about the Uchiha clan massacre, but before that, Itachi has a question for Naruto. He asks, "Where's Sasuke?" Naruto proceeds to say, "Oh, he's in the Akatsuki now. He wants to destroy the village." And he straight up asks, "Don't tell me Madara." And then Naruto says, "Yeah, he told me and Kakashi and Yamato, this and that." And Itachi literally says in his mind, "Darn you, Madara, so you did know the truth." So, like, Itachi, if Itachi said in his mind that this was Madara, not Obito, and he didn't even say Tobi. People say Tobi is a way of, like, they're not sure who this guy really is, so they just, like, they don't necessarily buy that he's Madara, so they just call him Tobi. But no, like, Itachi straight up says, "Darn you, Madara, so you did know the truth." So yeah, I'm gonna put that to bed right here, that Itachi was seriously under the impression that this masked man was Madara, not Obito. So we're gonna go off the side of what would have happened if Itachi eventually found out the truth. And with me today, I have my buddy, Daigo Knight. Say hey everybody, I'm sorry for that incredibly long intro.
You're good. Hello everyone, thanks for having me back.
No problem. Yeah, it's been a while since we've done a what if, so yeah, I thought, we're talking about this what if Itachi found out the truth, and we figured that the most reasonable time, that he would have found out this truth is probably right after the Kazekage rescue arc. And we mean, like, right after, because if y'all remember, in the beginning of the arc, when Team Kakashi encountered the 30% clone of Itachi, Kakashi kind of hinted towards Itachi that he might have a monkey Sharingan, and that might further, like, help the epiphany part of this on Itachi's part when he hears, because I'm assuming that Data is going to have to explain how he got his arms typed off.
Yeah, that's very reasonable
Kakashi
to assume.
Yeah, and I guess depending on how thorough his explanation is about how he got his arm taken off, like, this might lead Itachi to reach this epiphany a lot quicker. Like, maybe he'd be like, "Oh yeah, like, Kakashi kind of just made a portal out of nowhere on my arm, and it just kind of, like, it was like a black hole type of deal."
And this weird vortex. It looks exactly like what Tobi does when he teleports away. It's strange.
Yeah. And Itachi might, like, pick up on the fact, like, well, that is, like, he might actually think to himself, like, that does kind of sound familiar. The fact that it's Kakashi's new MS ability and that it's in the exact opposite eye of Tobi, I need to investigate this. But, like, I think that he might actually just reach this conclusion, and then maybe he'd think to himself, like, did anybody ever actually see Obito's body and this and that? Because, I mean,
it's
sure, like,
pretty sus.
Yeah. So, long story short, this is when Itachi finds out the truth about Tobi. So being that that's the case, there are two things he's going to have to, like, reevaluate here, and that's one, what to tell Sasuke, and two, tell Kakashi. And we think that like the moment where, because he's going to have to relay this information to Kakashi. There's no way he's not going to. So like the point in time we feel like he would do this is probably when the Itachi pursuit team is sent out to find Itachi. And he still sends the clone to meet with Naruto, but I think additionally he'll send another clone to meet with Kakashi specifically that's given this information. Now this is going to be a little bit odd for Kakashi because Itachi is not gonna just out himself as a spy or as a double agent to Kakashi. So he'll probably still tell Kakashi that, hey, there is a really good chance that your friend is still alive, or something like that. Like he'll give Kakashi the information that it's Obito behind that mask, and so like the guy that you're gonna encounter here soon is Obito. It's not Madara. It's not this guy named Tobi. It's your friend Obito. He might tell Kakashi, like, if you don't believe me, just look at his look at his Sharingan. It's in the complete opposite one of yours. I'm telling you, it is Obito. One way or the other, he'll relay the information to Kakashi.
And he could tell Kakashi, like, yeah, I want you to know because I want the entire Uchiha clan to die and whatever. So you're going to have to kill your own friend or something. So Itachi can maintain the, I am evil personality of him.
Yeah. And Kakashi may or may not believe this right off the bat, but this might prompt him to at least test a theory out once they all encounter Tobi. Because the stuff in the main series, when it applies to the whole meeting Tobi and the Sasuke versus Itachi fight, that's going to stay the same. With a little bit of the difference of Itachi not telling Sasuke that Madara is still alive, that no, it's this, Obito guy. He may not even mention Obito now that he's talked to Kakashi about the whole thing. Like he may not feel the need to talk to Sasuke about it, but he probably still will, just on the off chance that something does happen. So Sasuke will know about Obito, and then the Tobi encounter with the Itachi pursuit team will be altered a little bit now because obviously Kakashi has more information to work with. So what I think would happen is that Kakashi wouldn't initially out Obito. He'd probably test the theory out, internally, and just, observe, Tobi's movements and whatnot and his jutsu. And he might send a clone or some beetles of Shino's into the Kamui dimension beforehand, just in case. Because look, this is probably going to be the part of the video that gets us in the most trouble. I understand if y'all think we're going to be hyping this up too much, but if Kakashi is able to confirm that it is Obito and that their jutsus are linked, I think Tobi kind of is screwed here. I'll be honest with you.
He came up with a counter for Kamui in the war arc without knowing he was fighting against Obito and that his eye was linked to Obito's eye. But if he knew it was Obito beforehand, he'd have much more of an edge on Obito here, because once he uses Kamui and puts a Naruto clone in the Kamui dimension or Shino's beetles to suck Obito's chakra, there isn't much he can do, right? Because either he's gonna phase through the attacks coming to him in the real world and get attacked from inside, or he's not, and then he's gonna have to fight a 1 versus 9 with powerful ninjas. Kakashi, Yamato, Naruto, Hinata can use her Byakugan to see things, Sakura can heal everybody. I mean, he was there, so whatever. But it's gonna be difficult regardless. He was struggling a lot to fight Fu and Tarune. He lost an arm to suck them into Kamui. And yeah, they're powerful, but are they more powerful than Kakashi? Plus 8 more people? So
including people like Yamato and Shino, who are already trouble to deal with on their own.
Also, Sai, Sai's pretty powerful, and he was there.
So, and 2 things I think that people will probably get onto us about. And it's one, yes, Kakashi isn't necessarily a chakra monster as he is in the war arc. That's true. But all it would take is 1 Kamui to get... Because again, if Kakashi in the beginning of the series was able to Kamui Datara's fake suicide bomb, I see no reason why he couldn't get a few clones of Naruto or Yamato, or both, plus Shino's beetles, into the Kamui dimension just for good measure. I don't see that being and that's just 1 Kamui. I don't see Kakashi peeling over from that. So in any case, he'll still have a contingency plan for Obito to not be able to face. Now, the second thing I want to bring up is that, yes, in theory, Obito could just retreat into Kamui. And maybe you could argue that he could be able to, like, still deal with... I mean, without phasing, maybe his wood style can combat any clones that are in the Kamui dimension plus the Beatles. But even if that was the case, the problem here is that there's a reason why Obito intercepted this team, because they were going to get to Sasuke if he didn't. And so he's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place here, where he has to probably still engage this group if he doesn't want to risk them getting to Sasuke. Because, again, he may have held them back for a minute, but, like, I don't know. I feel as though if he doesn't intercept them for too long, that they get to Sasuke anyway.
Yeah, if he retreats to Kamui too soon, they can get to Sasuke and Itachi fighting, so he's probably going to stay there. And even if he tries to retreat into Kamui, because the entire Konoha battalion is going to be fighting against Obito and putting pressure on him, it's going to be much more difficult for him to find a window to teleport away and not be catched by some other jutsu, because he's not intangible when he's teleporting away. So that's going to be much more difficult. And Kakashi, being the mastermind he is, he can probably start to figure out the other weaknesses of Kamui there. Oh, he has to take a long time to take himself into Kamui, and no, he can't become intangible when he is Kamui himself. So those are weaknesses of Kamui that Kakashi would certainly exploit. Especially if Obito tries to suck someone into Kamui. They can also enter Kamui and be fine, and Kakashi can Kamui them out afterwards anyway, so it wouldn't be a massive problem. So Obito's kind of in a bad situation here.
I mean, he does have Izanagi, which will, it'll help, but I don't know. Again, all that does is just leave another opportunity for, because, like, again, assuming Itachi gave Kakashi all the knowledge he will need to try to take this guy out, aside from Izanagi, because, it's likely Itachi may have not known about. Yeah. So, just to get semantics out of the way, let's just say that, like, because this leads into the narrative of this what if, because I don't think Kakashi will opt to kill Obito for a couple reasons. One, he probably want to figure out how Obito lived, for one thing, and why he's in the Akatsuki. But two, to get more information on the Akatsuki. So, they will likely try to capture Obito, and, like, the most realistic way I see this happening, aside from what the scenario we just pitched, is trying to get Shino's Beatles to suck him, like, down enough to either he's, like, on the brink, or, like, just low enough where he can't really utilize much jutsu, like, at all. I would probably
just keel over and stop fighting because he doesn't have stamina anymore.
Yeah, so, like, just to not be pedantic about this whole thing, we'll just say they capture Obito. Kakashi probably will stay with Obito, and he'll have Yamato send he and the rest of the team to go retrieve Sasuke, because we talked about, like, Zetsu would be the only one that's going to try to retrieve Sasuke, and, like, what's he gonna do? Like, just...
Yeah, because the way Sasuke got away from the Konoha squad there was because of Obito, right? He Kamui him away, teleporting Sasuke to that strange underground location where he told him about the truth of Itachi. But if Obito is captured, then the Leaf team can just go there and get Sasuke, and that's it. And Itachi's body, for that matter.
They get Sasuke and Itachi and Obito, and they bring them all back to the Leaf Village. Now, this is where things will kind of get interesting, because this is going to go down a couple different ways. For starters, the first thing they're going to do when they get to the Leaf Village is put a seal on Obito's eyes, similar to how Ibiki did to Sasuke at the end of the series. So he cannot use Kamui to get out of the situation, to fight back. He is locked up, and so they're going to do their best to, extract whatever intel they can get on Obito. And, like, it'll probably take a minute, because, Daigo did point out to me before we start recording that, Obito's will should be, rock solid enough to, like, it might take them a minute or so to, like...
He can also have protections like the Genin that Pain had under his wing had, so that nobody can get information on the Akatsuki. But eventually, Noichi managed to break through those defenses, and he read the mind of that Genin just fine. So, with enough, time and patience, I think they could definitely reach everything Obito had, and they would essentially have intel on the Akatsuki, every single member, the entire Madara thing that happened in the cave with Obito, and why Obito was doing all those things, and they would also have intel on the Uchiha clan massacre, which Obito knew a lot about, and they would also have intel on the Nine Tails attack 16 years ago, so they would know a lot of stuff.
That would be the biggest bomb drop. Like, well, I don't know. Madara being alive probably would be the bigger bomb drop. But, and by extension, they would realize that it's not just Obito pulling the strings this entire time, but it's Madara that's causing all this chaos. A lot of okay. Now here is the thing: I'm pretty sure it's safe to say that Ibiki learning this would not. He's going straight to Tsunade with this information. Like it's not gonna be public.
And Ichi, yeah, they're not going to broadcast that to the entire village. That'd be stupid.
So I would suspect Tsunade would bring Kakashi into this conversation and let him know before telling Sasuke. That way, because I mean, if anyone has the best chance of like delivering this kind of information to Sasuke, it's gonna be Kakashi. Now, this is where things we really weren't sure on the Sasuke part of this. This could go a couple different ways. For one thing, he's gonna learn the truth about Itachi, obviously. And I think, and me and Doug were talking about this before we start recording. Like sometimes delivery can make or break a situation, and we saw like how Obito like delivered the truth about Itachi. He did it kind of cryptically, and like Obito knew what he was doing. Like he knew exactly how to like word different things to where like it might make Sasuke, choose revenge. Especially since Obito was like already like predisposed to the whole like, Uchihas, choose hatred more often than not when they lose a great love or something like that. Like he already knew that like getting that information to Sasuke in the way that he was delivering it was gonna push him over the edge. But with Kakashi, I feel like it's a lot better with social skills, personally. And I think hearing it from someone like him, especially now that in this narrative, Sasuke would be talking to two people who know exactly what he's going through right now. Naruto, for one, because he just lost Jiraiya, and in this narrative, what if Jiraiya still dies? So that, plus, I mean, Kakashi's dad kind of got done dirty by the Leaf Village too. Let's be honest. Like, I mean, his situation is not
for sure.
too much. Like his situation is not too much different than Itachi's when you really think about it, because he, chose his loved ones or his friends or his comrades over the village, and he got done dirty. So like, I think with Kakashi being there, and maybe Naruto too, and Sakura, his whole, Team 7 family, whatever, I feel like with them being around and kind of comforting him, I don't know. I just feel like there's a chance that Sasuke may not go down the revenge path. At the very least, he'll like really take the time to think about it instead of just straight going for revenge.
There's also the fact that they will know the Nine Tails attack was because of Obito,
Yes.
and they were manipulating the Uchiha clan and everything. So both the village and the clan were not in a great situation. Obviously, Danzo is still around, so that may be a problem that Sasuke will want to deal with. But
Actually, on that note, I was gonna say on the Tsunade start, because like with Tsunade getting this information, she's gonna have to start making some decisions about what to do with Danzo and the elders, because like there's no way Tsunade is gonna let that kind of crap fly. Like after hearing that, like say as Hokage, I feel like she would feel like it's her duty to like seek retribution about something like this. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know if she'd outright just order their execution.
maybe they get arrested. I don't know. I don't think Tsunade would just kill them outright, but yeah.
I wouldn't think so, but you gotta think like I feel like Tsunade would be like the nerve of the elder, because like remember how like in the beginning of the series they were kind of giving her crap about not trying to compromise when it came to Naruto, and she has to be like the nerve of them talk about me not compromising. Y'all led the entire Uchiha clan to get massacred because y'all couldn't compromise enough. So it's like, yeah, Tsunade's gonna have to, and like honestly, I feel like once Sasuke hears the truth, I think Tsunade will go actually ask Sasuke, like, okay, you are the last, like, Uchiha left. Like, you make the decision whether or not you want the clan's truth to be exposed, or if you want Itachi to remain, you know.
He would probably want the truth to be exposed, to be honest. I think Sasuke would opt to have that, just so that people know what Itachi did for the village.
Again, like, this is like where we're just not. I would personally think that, like, with the delivery of Kakashi, Naruto, and Sakura kind of being there, and finding out that Obito and Madara were pulling the entire strings the entire time, and that's what led to the Uchiha clan, you know, being disliked, and what led to Itachi's decision in the first place. I honestly think he would probably not choose revenge. That's up to y'all. But, like, the thing is that Sasuke is not going to have time to mull this over anyway, because not too long after this, Pain's going to be invading the Leaf Village, and that goes on to the Akatsuki side of things, because with Obito out of the picture, the only Akatsuki members that can really do anything is Kisame and Pain. And I feel like with Pain in command now, he'd probably send Kisame to be like, all right, you need to go capture 8 Tails, we'll go capture 9 Tails, and we'll try to, you know, get the ball rolling, I guess. Because it might prompt an incentive for Pain to further go attack the village, because now that Obito's captured, he might think like, well, he's a little bit of a liability. He might think that, like, we need to get him before he, you know, divulges any more intel on us, which, I mean, he already would have by this point, so I guess it doesn't matter. But they don't know that, so anyway. So Pain still invades the Leaf Village, and, like, again, depending on how long Sasuke's had to think about this, he may not have much time to, like, really make a decision, because once he starts seeing Pain, like, killing members of the Leaf Village, I don't think he'd, like, just sit by and let it happen. So he'd probably join in the fight. Naruto wouldn't be there, because he'd go, you know, be training with Fukasaku to, you know, learn Sage Mode. So, and we didn't touch upon this when we were recording, Daigo, but it's one of those things, like, I'm not really sure at what point he would decide to maybe take Itachi's eyes.
Yeah. I mean, we don't know if you need to mature your base mangaka to get somebody else's eyes. I think that's probably fair to assume. So he wouldn't be able to just implant them from the get-go, and maybe he wouldn't even want to do that. But
yeah, it's like up in the air. Like, yeah, I mean, so, like, at worst, the Leaf Village has everybody did except for Naruto right now. Let's say,
and Guy would be out of the village.
Yeah. So you have maybe either Heavy Sasuke or, like, Taka Sasuke, like, before, like, right after he got the Mangekyo, where he's not, like, totally used to it. And, you know, at best, you have, like, baby EMS Sasuke with helping them, plus Kakashi, plus Tsunade, plus everybody else. You know, and then eventually Naruto. Because in this timeline, I feel like with Danzo being arrested, he's not going to kill the messenger toad, so Naruto will be able to get there a lot quicker. So, and we already know that the invasion didn't go so well in the original timeline, at least for Pain. Like, Pain eventually lost, so Pain's going to have an even worse time here than he already did. So I would assume that the invasion just stays the same. We could still say Naruto taught no jutsus Nagato. I don't see a reason for that to change, personally.
Yeah. Probably not.
So
maybe he'll be even more convinced after finding out Obito was a guy from the Leaf Village that was manipulating him all along, and not even Madara, nothing at all. So he'd feel more like a fool, and probably be even more agreeable to the talk jutsu here.
So, I mean, at that point, Kisame is the only real Akatsuki member left, and he'd just be like, oh, well, I'm out. There ain't no reason for me to stay. Honestly, and then, like, the only real threats in the world now would be Kabuto, which we don't really know what he's doing by this point, but I mean,
yeah, he was collecting DNA samples to bring the Edo Tensei army, but without the support of Obito and the White Zetsu army, sure, he can cause a lot of trouble with those Edo Tenseis, but he wouldn't be as massive of a problem as they are, especially because he cannot summon the Geto Mazo, and therefore he cannot collect tail beasts to form the 10 tails. So if he brings Madara back, that's a problem, sure, but
yeah, that is actually true. That is actually true. I didn't even think about it. But I mean, I don't think I even get that far, because they were already, like,
they were close to getting Kabuto, to be fair. Anko and Sai were chasing after him, and if the war doesn't start, they can focus much more on capturing him.
Yeah, well, not even that. Like, now that Sasuke's with them, like, I would even go so far as to say that Sasuke would still recruit the numbers of Taka to help in that regard. Like, they might have more information on where Kabuto might be than anybody else. So I could see, like, Sasuke kind of getting their help and then them eventually finding it where Kabuto's at and hunting him down and killing him. I mean, it's funny that we worked, the title of the video is like, what if Itachi learned the truth, where Itachi's not really even that much involved. It's just him learning the truth definitely throws a lot of things off course. And now, like, we'll leave you with an open ending because it's one of those things like rewinding. We're not really 100% sure what Sasuke would do when he learns the truth. That's like the biggest, like, divulging point. If you think that he does go down the path of revenge,
yeah, maybe he just skips revenge and goes straight to revolution. You know?
True. Yeah, that is true. That's a good point. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's like the biggest thing. I wanted to do this in a way where, like, if he's surrounded by his friends and he learns the truth, like, maybe it might be better, especially again if he knows the real truth about, because again Tobi just kind of kept a few things from, so if he learns the real truth, how would things go? So that's for y'all to decide, though. That's for y'all to, like, kind of speculate, but at the end of the day, that's what we think about this what if. So that's the video. I hope y'all did enjoy. I think the biggest thing that's gonna get us in trouble is the Tobi versus the Itachi Pursuit team. We might get a little bit, the people, y'all are sleeping on Tobi still, which I get it, but I mean, there's a reason he finally got hit in the war arc. So so that's the video. Thank you, Daigo, for being on the channel again.
Thanks for having me.
Make sure you like the video if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure you go and subscribe to Daigo's channel if you haven't already. I'll leave a link for his channel in the description below. Thank you all for watching all the way to the end if you have. Until the next one, LightningSnow, out.